What's going on, traders? Welcome to this week's Forex Forecast. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to check out the Patreon or the YouTube membership for my daily chart analysis. I hope to see you there. All right, starting things off with the US dollar index. The past week, the banks added 1,979 longs and they also added 358 shorts, which leaves them 86% long the US dollar. And looking at this daily chart here, we reacted very nicely off of this daily area of demand, and the overall trend has continued. We have gone a little sideways for the time being, as you can see right here. But once we break out of that, I think, it's all upside here on the US dollar. And if you look at a weekly chart, we are still at the highs sitting in monthly and weekly area of supply. If I draw it out right here, this is the overall monthly area of supply. So technically, sellers are stronger than buyers right now, considering that higher time frame area of demand or supply. So ultimately, price could come down. It's all going to revolve around this daily area of demand on the dollar, but more sooner than that, it will be this 4-hour area of demand. Right now, this 4-hour demand zone is holding up price very nicely on the US dollar. If we break this, we'll have a downtrend like this, and I think we could see more downward pressure on the DXY. But if we continue and we make a new high like this, we break this high right here, we will have the ability to draw that trend on the 4-hour chart, and then you can actually start to day trade the lower time frames, basically going long against the dollar, going long on the dollar with other currency pairs. On to EURUSD now. The past week, the institutions got rid of 1,074 longs, and they also got rid of 9,813 short positions, which leave them 56% short the EURUSD. Right now, we are sitting inside this daily area of demand. If you plan on getting long in this demand zone, I would target 1.15. If you do plan on getting in short, I would target 1.12. down here. So you could be looking for a confirmation trade in this daily area of demand here. It is tested though, and you'll have to look on a 1-hour chart. But if you come over to a weekly chart here, you can see the momentum is still, somewhat down, but just like the inverse of the US dollar, if you watch that forecast earlier, you can see we are sitting inside monthly demand right now. So ultimately, buyers could pick this up at any point. The banks could continue adding to their longs. If you come to a 4-hour chart, we had this 4-hour zone work right here. But if this gets tested again, it might not be the best time to be looking for confirmation here. So what you could do, if you plan on getting short, you could wait for this low to be removed, draw that downward trend line. Then you can start day trading to the downside. So I don't really see much for confirmation trades. You could look for shorts up in this area. Not a great zone. I actually don't really recommend that at all. And everything down here for 4-hour zones is pretty much used up. If price comes all the way down here to like 1.118, you could look for 15-minute confirmation coming off of that. If you don't know what confirmation is, definitely check out my playlist. I have a video on confirmation trading in there. And if you look at a 1-hour chart, everything is just sideways here, so not really quite clear. What I'm actually waiting for is for price to continue on the euro, because I do think the euro could get stronger. Then we'll have a daily uptrend, and I think it'd be more better for possible long opportunities. But like I said, if you come to a 4-hour chart, there are a few zones you could look for confirmation in. This one was a great example. And price moved up a little bit, but if you could have got out at like a 2-to-1 profit or something like that. And if you want my zones for confirmation to catch trades like this, you can sign up for the YouTube or Patreon membership. Links are in the description. It's only $5 CAD per month. You can get all my zones tracked on a daily basis, and you can use them for confirmation or set and forget entries, whatever you want. So definitely check that out. Hope to see you guys join the team, and you can certainly help you in your trading. So hope to see you there. On to gold. The past week, the banks added 33,710 long contracts, and they also added 6,800 short contracts, which leaves them 76% long on gold. That is the power of these COT reports here. If you look at a daily chart, we've clearly broken out of a range that gold's been in for a long time. We broke this high here. We were breaking out, and it looks to me like we are holding this range for the time being at least. And if you come over to a weekly chart here, you can see that we are actually sitting in a tested area of weekly supply. This was a very strong imbalance. I predicted this move down from this zone right here a while ago, and now we are coming up for a second test. As you can see, price has gone in a little bit deeper this time, so we could see gold potentially move down like this, maybe base sideways and then break out. I'm not saying gold's going to break right through this zone, but in my opinion, I could see gold going much higher. And once we do break this high on gold on a weekly chart, we'll have a weekly uptrend essentially, and gold looks like it will be going higher from here. So you could be looking for 4-hour confirmation coming out of that weekly area of supply for short positions, but I actually do not really recommend that based on the momentum we're seeing on gold. If you come to a 4-hour chart right here, you can see nice 4-hour momentum, but we're coming up to some overhead supply right here. You could look for 15-minute confirmation coming off of this 4-hour area of demand here. But if that happens, it might be below this trend line, and usually that's not a good sign when we actually break the trend line that is in play on that certain time frame. So if you are going to get in long, looking at a daily chart here, I would target 1920 to the long side. If you are going to get in short, I would probably take profit pretty quick at about 1880, something like that. But ultimately, I think gold is going to continue its strength because we've broken out of this range. We have a beautiful daily uptrend. So in my opinion, all signs are pointing upside on gold. But like I said, keep in mind about this weekly area of supply. We could see a small move down, and it could be a fake out to the downside and then a push up. And the reason that I think it is actually going to if it starts to fall, it's not going to fall all the way down to here, is because this zone is tested. So in my opinion, a lot of the sell orders have already been used up, and in my opinion, we could eventually break that weekly supply zone. If you trade the 5-minute chart, there's a decent little 5-minute zone, or sorry, 1-hour zone right here. You could look for 5-minute confirmation coming out of this 1-hour area of demand. But like I said, be very careful of that weekly supply. We could see a strong move down temporarily. USDJPY, the past week, the banks added 1,747 longs, and they also got rid of 5,267 short positions, which leaves them 88% long the USD yen. If you are going to get in short, you could target 114.2. If you are going to get in long, you could target maybe 116.5. But right now, we are sitting in a very tested area of daily supply right here. So the overall direction is very, very unclear. So let's go to a weekly chart here. And as you can see, the weekly momentum is clearly up. We reacted off of this weekly area of demand right here. But it looks like we're having a hard time making a new high here. And if you look, you could be taking a short trade. And if you look on a 4-hour chart here, we have a decent little confirmation zone right here on this 4-hour chart. But based on the overall direction that the weekly trend is overall up, this 4-hour zone might not hold. So what you could do is possibly just look for 15-minute confirmation in this 4-hour zone on a 15-minute chart, something like that, and take a quick little 1-to-1, 2-to-1 day trade. But I would not be using this 4-hour area of supply as, a long-term hold. I do not think that if we react off this 4-hour zone, we're going to go, really, really low. We could come down a little bit. Like I said, you could get a little bit of a day trade in there on a 15-minute chart. And real quick, if you are enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. And, always let me know in the comments what you thought of the video. It would be much appreciated. And if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below in the comments. And as always, check out the Patreon YouTube membership as well. So you could be using that 4-hour zone. There was a 1-hour zone right here that we reacted off of. So if you got in on a 5-minute trade in here, very, very nice. I don't really recommend taking this zone again as a confirmation area since it's tested. So there's not really much I'm seeing as far as 5-minute entries goes. But like I said, keep an eye on that 4-hour area of supply here. But keep in mind that the weekly trend is up, so it might not hold, and we could see the USD yen continue higher. All right, looking at the British pound. The past week, the banks added 5,400 long positions, and they also got rid of 5,300 short positions, which leaves them only 51% long the pound. So the positioning is very, very unclear on GBPUSD. If you are going to get in long, I would target right above this daily supply at 1.37. To the short side, I would target 1.345. This is a time where you could have actually got a nice little 1-hour confirmation trade coming out of here. a nice quick take profit, kind of the theme of the video of, you could use these zones as confirmation trades, but you might only get a 2-to-1. So I would have never have recommended to take trades in here to hold all the way down to here, but there's nothing wrong with taking trades in zones like that just for little quick confirmation trades. If you look at the weekly chart here, weekly demand is technically in control. The overall direction kind of looks down, but there's not a very, very clear trend. Come over to a 4-hour chart. We have a 4-hour zone in play right now. You could be looking for 15-minute confirmation coming off of this zone like that, something like that. And like I said, if you don't know what confirmation is, check out my tips playlist. It's a video in there, exactly what you need to be doing. So you could be looking for a 15-minute confirmation coming off of here. But since there's no trend on this 4-hour chart, the theme of the video is, I don't think we're going to go to all-time highs from here, but we could see a small move up. You can maybe take profit, and then we could see price push down. So that's a nice little 4-hour area of demand right there to be looking for confirmation in. As far as the 1-hour chart goes, there's really not too much to go off of here. Price is sideways. So as far as 1 minute, 5-minute entries, I don't really see a lot. But like I said, we're in that 4-hour area of demand right now. So I would just be looking for a shift in momentum in this 4-hour area of demand for maybe a quick little day trade. USDCAD, the past week the banks added 2,378 longs and they got rid of 338 short positions, which leaves them 56% short the USDCAD. Looking at this daily chart, there's not a very clear direction. We are stuck between supply and demand here. If you do plan on getting long, I would target 1.29. If you plan on getting short, I would target 1.265. Looking at this daily chart, there's clearly no direction in play, so we have to go to a weekly chart, and clearly the momentum is somewhat up on the weekly chart. We failed to make a new high up here, but ultimately, if you look at this, it's pretty undeniable that we're seeing higher highs. So ultimately, the overall trend is up. It's all going to depend on the USD index. If you look at the 4-hour chart right here, we've seen this 4-hour area of demand very, very used up now. And it's kind of a buy low, sell high situation, but what I see, it's a very important chart, is this range. So I would not be day trading this pair right now, in my opinion, until we break out of this range on the 4-hour chart. In my opinion, what I stress a lot on this channel is that trading with the trend is your best friend. So when price is sideways, it's very difficult to predict when price is going to hold and when it's not going to hold. Trading with the trend is always great. So I would wait for a breakout like that or a breakout like this, and then I would trade with that momentum after that. It's very, very simple. Yes, you could get away with selling, or buying, but at the end of the day, the trend is, it's better to be trading with the trend because you know the overall direction. I guess you could make the argument that since that weekly momentum is up, it's better to be buying, and I could probably agree with that. So not really too much to go off of here on the 4-hour chart. If anything, if you trade the 5-minute chart or the 1-minute chart, you could be looking at this 1-hour area of demand down here to look for a quick little confirmation trade. Wow, I don't know what happened to my mouse there. You could be looking for a quick little confirmation trade in this 1-hour area of demand on a 1-minute chart or a 5-minute chart. Looking at the Aussie dollar, the past week the banks got rid of 5,631 long positions, and they also got rid of 4,678 short positions, which leave them 89% short the Aussie dollar. And as you can see, price has been making lower lows. We actually broke this low recently on the daily chart. If you are going to get in long, I would target 0.73. If you're going to get in short, I would target 0.70. But if you look, we're reacting off of this daily downward trend line and this daily supply right here. So you could be looking for 1-hour confirmation trades, and I'm going to show you guys one right now. If you come over to this 1-hour chart, we've clearly had some momentum to the upside. If I draw a trend line like this, you'll see we clearly had decent momentum on Aussie dollar on the 1-hour chart, and then all of a sudden price shot down, broke that trend line, and left us with this 1-hour area of supply. I'm not really recommending taking this as a set and forget trade like that, but I would say you could be looking for a 5-minute confirmation trade off of this 1-hour area of supply, and I think that that would be decent. So come down, if price comes up to this 1-hour area of supply, hop down to a 1-minute chart or a 5-minute chart, maybe look for a nice 2-to-1, 3-to-1 day trade coming off of that 1-hour area of supply. Because if you look at a weekly chart here, yes, we are inside weekly / monthly area of demand, but the overall trend is down. So yes, buyers could be stepping up to the plate, but at the end of the day, if you're day trading, the weekly chart doesn't matter as much. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we are in 4-hour demand right here. You could be looking for a 15-minute confirmation in there, but at the end of the day, I think it's actually best to be basically looking at this daily chart, realizing that prices in daily supply, coming over to a 1-hour chart, identifying the big move down, which is right here. And like I said, look for maybe little day trades in this 1-hour area of supply. All right, looking at USDCHF, the past week, the banks added 2,700 long positions, and they also added 2,400 short positions, which leave them 79% long USD Swiss here. And we are stuck between daily supply and daily demand once again. If you are going to get in long, I would target 0.932 before this daily supply. If you're going to get in short, I would target right before this daily demand at 0.916. You could also be looking for 1-hour confirmation inside this daily area of demand. I think that is completely fine. Come to a weekly chart, there's no clear overall direction here at all. Price is just going sideways. We won't really get clear direction until this zone is broken and direction is clearly going up, or until one of these zones is broken and we can say that price is going down. So all trading decisions will have to be on a lower time frame. There's really not much to go off here in the 4-hour. There's not really a lot of fresh zones to be using. Yes, there are a few little zones in here, but nothing great. So a 4-hour chart, not really seeing much at all. If you come to a 1-hour chart, you could have looked for 5-minute or 1-minute confirmation coming off of this 1-hour area of supply. This was a zone that the Patreon and YouTube members got throughout the week, but ultimately that zone is somewhat tested. So if you want to wait for price to come up to this area of 1-hour supply, you could certainly look for maybe a 1-minute shift of momentum to the downside and grab a quick little day trade to the short side, but really not too many opportunities on USDCHF right now. And with saying that, I'm not going to force anything or try to drag on USD Swiss. So kind of just have to be patient on this one and maybe look for other pairs to trade. Last but not least, crude oil. The past week, the banks got rid of 21,000 long positions, and they also got rid of 6,400 short positions, but they are still overall 81% long on oil. And clearly, I've been talking about this. Oil is a great one to be trading right now to the long side. If you are going to get in long, you could target 98 to 99. If you are going to get in short, I would take profits early at around 90. There's really not much to go off the daily chart here. This daily area of demand has been tested, and this daily supply has been tested. So there's really not much going here. The overall direction on the weekly chart is up. We have actually just had this weekly area of supply removed, and which leaves us with a weekly area of demand right about here. So when price comes down to this weekly area of demand, which I think is very possible on oil, and the lower time frames are actually showing that, you could be looking for a 4-hour confirmation coming off of that weekly area of demand. But if you're looking for day trades, which I know a lot of you guys are mostly day traders, we've clearly lost momentum here on the 4-hour chart. So what I like to do in that situation is wait for the momentum to continue. Since I do think that oil will be going much higher, I'd rather wait for the momentum to continue and make a new high and then buy pullbacks up here. That's what I would like to do. If you are feeling a little risky and you do think oil is due for a big pullback, there's a 4-hour area of supply right here. You could certainly look for a 15-minute confirmation coming off of here. But since the weekly and daily trends are up, I highly would recommend taking profits somewhat early, maybe around here, if you are going to be getting in short. So little 4-hour area of supply right here. If you are looking to get in long on a lower time frame, there is a 4-hour area of demand right here at about 88.16. You could look for 15-minute confirmation to the long side in there. And I would more recommend getting in long than short on oil. But like I said, nothing in this video is financial advice. If you come to a 1-hour chart, if you're more of a 1-minute or a 5-minute day trader, there's a 1-hour area of supply. You could grab maybe a quick 1-to-1 on a 1-minute chart, something like that. To the short side. And as far as demand goes, there's really not too much here, but overall the bigger picture on oil is clearly going up. So I would only be looking for buying opportunities, and if you are going to get in short, it would have to be on a very low time frame and you have to take profits somewhat quick. Hopefully you guys found this weekly Forex forecast helpful. If you did, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. leave a like and check out the Patreon or YouTube membership if you need help finding your supply and demand zones. It's only $5 CAD per month. Hope to see you guys there and hope to see you in the next video.